So here we are doing the reorganization of states in the Northeast in particular. So we're going to read the reorganization of Northeastern states in India is a significant chapter in the post-independence history of the country, reflecting the complex interplay of ethnicity, languages, and regional aspirations. The right regional aspirations. The process was driven by the need to address the unique socio-political challenges of the region. The process was driven by the need to address the unique socio-political challenges of the region, which comprises a diverse mix of ethnic communities with distinct identities, linguistic identities, and political aspirations, and diverse ethnicity. Firstly, the Northeast was initially a part of the larger Assam province managed during the British rule. Post independence, the region experienced rising ethnic consciousness among various tribes, rising ethnic consciousness, okay, and leading demands for separate states. The Naga insurgency was one of the earliest and most prominent examples which led to the formation of Nagaland as a separate state in 1963. Alright. So it was after the Chinese War that perhaps India was compelled to accommodate political demands of Nagaland because you didn't want more issues at the border. Alright. Secondly, the creation of Nagaland set a precedent, and similar demands emerged from other tribal groups. Mizo National Front's armed struggle, MNF, is currently also the political party. Um, Armed struggle, motivated by the desire for an independent Mizoram, led to the formation of Mizoram as a union territory in 1972 and later as a full fledged state in 1987. Alright, so Nagaland was directly granted the separate state in 1963. There was no UT status for it interimly, but Mizoram fought for an independent nation and they got their independent UT status in 1972, where a large amount of organization happened in the northeast. Meghalaya maybe 72 में कुछ हुआ, Tripura and Manipur maybe 72 में कुछ हुआ, and there was another year 1987 when it was granted the full status, a full state. Thirdly, Meghalaya was carved out of Assam in 1972, following the demands of the Khasi, Garo, Jaintia communities for a separate state. And this move was largely peaceful, facilitated through a sixth schedule of Indian Constitution, all right, and which provided for autonomous district councils to protect the rights and culture of the tribal people. So Assam and Meghalaya have largely resolved their disputes peacefully. There was also some river water sharing dispute, which was also resolved peacefully just recently, I think last year. Fourthly, so it was in 1972, all right, and fourthly, the only one Nagaland got it in 1963, and Mizoram got the UT status in 1972, 1987 state status. Meghalaya was carved out of Assam in 1972. Alright, and Tripura and Manipur, which were princely states before independence, became union territories in 1956. So there's high probability also about a question from post-independence India on the northeast ethnic trouble or something because the Manipur issue. So they became union territories in 1956, Tripura and Manipur, and were granted full statehood in 1972. Okay, and their reorganization was crucial in integrating them into Indian Union while recognizing the distinct historical and cultural identities. Yeah, reorganization was necessary to let them feel accommodated while recognizing their distinct identity. That's how you accommodate in this country, alright, by giving them a recognition and a place of their own that they seek. So Tripura and Manipur became union territories in 1956. It was prior to even Nagaland, and were granted full statehood in 1972. All right. So next is Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim also underwent significant changes during this period. Arunachal was granted statehood in 1987, reflecting the need to address strategic concerns along the border with China. Sikkim and former kingdom was merged with India in 1975 and became the 22nd state of the Indian Union. So Sikkim happened in 1975. It was perhaps the emergency time. Indira Gandhi ji did that, so we can remember that. Okay, Sikkim former. Okay, so you can remember the state's reorganization with the prime minister, I guess, with the leaders at the center that that did the facilitation. The reorganization of northeastern states was marked by recognition of the diverse ethnic identities of the region, addressing aspirations of various tribal groups. This process helped in maintaining peace and stability in the region by accommodating the unique socio-cultural fabric of Northeast within the Indian federal structure. So finally, the reorganization of northeastern states demonstrates the flexibility of Indian constitution. Right? Yeah. Whenever you talk about the accommodating nature of the constitution, you definitely you do mention about the accommodation between fundamental rights and the PSPs, harmonious construction, Minerva bills, but this reorganization and accommodation of the political aspirations of the northeastern ethnic um, tribes, ethnic states, is also one of the great achievements of the constitution in accommodating diverse regional demands. It highlights the importance of addressing regional aspirations through peaceful negotiations and constitutional means, thus contributing to the stability and integration of the region into the Indian Union. So there's Articles 371A, B, C, etc., which provide for different provisions, special status within the constitution for many states in India. That's also one way to accommodate stuff. So we are going to just go through this again. So सबसे पहले I see कि Tripura and Manipur, which sound like the Hindu names. Tripura and Manipur were just trying to remember. Okay, these are just tricks to remember. Tripura and Manipur became UTs in 1956 when the rest of India was being reorganized, and were granted full statehood in 1972. Full statehood in 1972 was granted to Tripura and Manipur and Mizoram. Nagaland got it in 1963, and it was not in 1972 that Mizoram got its full statehood. It got its UT status in 72 and then full statehood in 1987. Mizoram. Alright, the 72 में state त्रिपुरा एंड मणिपुर बन गए थे. Alright, so 63 में basically कुछ सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ हुआ, was Nagaland. Only Nagaland was accommodated, but otherwise if you see there's 56 and there's 72 and there's 87. These three are the main years. Here 75 is for Arunachal Pradesh, sorry, Sikkim. That's different. Sikkim in 75 during the emergency period. That's different case. So there are two different cases here, three different overall. But Nagaland in 1963 became a full state, and Sikkim was integrated first as a sub-state, then became a full state. It was in 75. Sikkim and Nagaland are done. Manipur and Tripura. Manipur got their UT status perhaps in Manipur and Tripura in 1956 and full statehood in 1972, the next step. While in 1972, Mizoram got its full UT status and its statehood in 1987. And what remains? Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh. We've just seen it. It was granted statehood in 1987 along with the last person, which is Mizoram. So 1987 तक Arunachal was part of the Ahom. Is that so? So that's why Ahom people feel home at Arunachal Pradesh, pretty much. All right, so 87 statehood came for Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. Nagaland got it in 63, Manipur and Tripura, UT status in 56 and statehood in 72. Mizoram, UT status in 72 and statehood in 87, along with Arunachal and Sikkim, it was integrated in 80. I'm sorry, 75. And what about Meghalaya? Yeah. Meghalaya was peacefully separated from Ahom, perhaps in 1972. 1972. All right. So we gotta remember this because we should be sounding. And this is the sixth schedule that facilitated this in a home and Meghalaya issue. So that is this. But we've got to remember these numbers so that there's a fluidity in our answers when we talk about these things. If you have this confidence that you have this information that you can present, that's how you construct the points, right? So this is it for right now. We were doing something else. We were still doing history, and there's more time we got to give for history, and we'll also begin geography. We'll just begin with everything for this exam, and somehow we'll do whatever is required within time. All right, so we are going to do history in the next. So for now, yeah, this is it. And if you want, I'll just